Hey y'all, here we're going to talk about somatic work, which is what we've been talking about a little bit on this channel. And I got a really good question from Potato Guy, and great name, Potato Guy. I would like to hear more about how you worked through emotions and feelings. I felt it happen before and relief, but I still don't know how to reproduce the relief aspect. It often just feels like trudging through dense emotions and exhausting after. I want to feel the relief I've felt those special times where I get into it and something internally actually changes as a result, and life becomes a bit less painful. Hope that makes sense. Thanks for the video. Well, Potato Guy, thanks for your comment. And I wrote some stuff up for you for us to get into. So for those of you who haven't been paying attention to this channel, very, very brief overview. It's good to feel feelings, and actually it's a way to get through some of the harder things that block us in our life. So this is what this person is asking is, right, like when I attempt to feel these feelings, it just gets really heavy, right? It's like, why would I do it if it just gets really heavy and there's no positive result? Well, there's some nuance to this whole somatic work, this whole thing with actually feeling stuff. The thing I want to start off with is that you want to think of feeling and emotion as living beings, living things. And these living things inside of you, they want one thing, and that's to be felt. That's their purpose here is to be felt fully. And when we don't do that, they get shoved away into this deep hole or deep cavern where hopefully one day they can, see through their mission here, basically. Now, most of us do not do this. Most of us don't feel and have chosen not to feel, or have just experienced hard things in our life so much that, something actually very intelligent inside has shut down the feelings. Right? Because if it's so intense, like, we have to survive. The name of the game is survival. So it's best not to feel the feelings right now if right now you need to survive, right? And this is what happened for a lot of us when we were young, or still right now. But I want you to think about it like this. If a child comes up to you and says, "Hey, I need to pee," you probably wouldn't respond saying, "No, not right now." That would be disastrous if you did that. But this is exactly what a feeling or an emotion is doing. It's saying, "Hey, I need to be felt." But most of the time, we don't do it. But the thing is that doesn't mean it goes away. If a child has to pee and you say, "No, not right now," the pee doesn't disappear. The pee has to be relieved, right? So funny little examples here, but you see how if the main thing that a feeling or emotion needs or wants is to be felt, the same way that a kid needs to pee. And if you don't allow these things to happen, it doesn't mean they disappear. They are still present. And that's where the feeling just keeps going back into that place inside of you where you store them. Now, in this example with the child, something you also probably wouldn't say is, "Hey, I understand what you mean. Let's talk about the pee." No, the child has to go to the bathroom. They don't need to talk about it. They need to take action. They need to release it. They need to do it. There will be no relief unless the action is allowed to take place. So we got the first thing down, that a feeling or an emotion needs to be felt in order for it to actually move, in order for it to leave that deep, dark place inside. Now here we start to answer the question a little better. Here's the thing, is that it's not easy. It's not pleasant. Nor is it supposed to be. And very quickly, I just want to provide this statement that if what I'm saying in this video resonates with you, but it feels like, oh, would be too hard or that's scary, go work with a somatic therapist. It will be helpful to get some help. But I also want to stress that you have autonomy. You are a human. You can do whatever you want. For me, I've done a lot of this, actually all of this work on my own. So we also don't want to take the autonomy away from you, right? You should know that this is something that you can do on your own. So if you feel like you need help, get help. If you feel strong and capable, do it on your own. Okay, so it's not supposed to be easy or pleasant. The reality of this is it will feel like a lot. And it's important to manage this. If it feels like too much, come back to your breath. Breathe really deep Put your hands on your body. Feel your body. Feel that you're here and that you're present. Feel yourself in the space by touching things, looking at things. Feel your presence. And don't go into a place of too much overwhelm. So let's assume that you try this out. And I'm going to talk about what this might look like. And I'm going to use an experience that I just had in my life. I just traveled and I went somewhere I used to live. And actually, it was a hard experience. I thought it was going to be really fun and nostalgic, but actually it brought up a lot. It brought up like old memories and things and people who were in my life, you know, friends and girlfriends and all this kind of stuff. And it actually felt really heavy. And I felt myself avoiding it. I felt myself like, I really don't want to be experiencing this. And I was drinking more coffee and listening to more YouTube and just basically doing anything I could to not feel this. And so what I chose to do once I kind of reconciled, like, that's what I'm doing, I'm avoiding this, that's kind of silly, I don't want to do that, I just sat with it. And what I did was I breathed deep and I recognized, hey, I'm avoiding some feelings and emotions. So instead of avoiding, I just, with my breathing, I just went inside and I said, hey, what am I avoiding? And it became very clear that I was avoiding a feeling, you know, and it is this deep feeling of emptiness inside of me. And it was sad. There was some fear, and it kind of brought me back to that place of emptiness inside that I feel from time to time. And as I'm going through this, I'm still noticing the resistance that I have, but I'm just choosing to feel all of it. I'm saying, no, I don't want to block it right now. I actually just want to feel this as much as possible. So I'm going to cut out of the story and explain some of the things that I'm doing here. So one of the main things we want to do is we want to allow them the space to be exactly what they are, an emotion, to let it move inside of us, to cry, to feel angry. If it's a feeling like that emptiness I was talking about, I need to feel that. I need to feel the emptiness. I don't need to cover it up or push it away. I can just sit there and breathe deeply and feel the emptiness. And here we get to one of the major nuances is, as we go through, I want to be with what it actually feels like. And this is very hard to convey, but here's the thing is that we get really caught up in our minds. And oftentimes we're trying to explain what it feels like instead of actually sinking deeply into the feeling. And so if I have this feeling inside and I'm noticing that it's actually some anger, I'm feeling like some rage, really upset. And for me, I oftentimes will repress that anger. But what I can do is say, hey, actually anger, that feeling, that's okay. And let me actually sink into that and let it flow through my body. So if it's right here in my chest, what if I breathe into it and allow it the space to like become anger and to feel anger in my body? And this is where we're actually getting this energy to move instead of getting caught in this cycle or this story of what we think it is or intellectualizing what's happening. No, we're actually just going to let this pulse through our body. And I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to say it, is this doesn't mean that you need to express the anger in the sense of like, go hit a pillow, or this doesn't mean you need to express the sadness and like, oh, wallow in your sadness and just, you know, go into this deep, horrible place. There's actually a way we can do this where we stay very strong and empowered. So as you go through this, sit up tall, breathe really deeply, allow these emotions to flow, but at the very same time, don't crumble and fall into yourself. Be strong, be present, be like that parent that you either had or that you needed in that moment. There's a way to go through these really hard and difficult feelings where it's not just really deep and dark, but yes, you get to experience them. And at the same time, you get to be that person that you perhaps needed to be at that time when you were younger. So we might say, have some dignity as you go through this experience of feeling. Now, I think that these are really important nuances, right? Is not to just go in and feel the thing and feel really sad because it's taken over your life and you're wallowing in that pain and you're telling yourself all these stories of why it's here and why you suck and why you're not good at this and da 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 da, right? No, like this is a very different process from that. This is recognizing that this stuff needs to be felt, that it's energetic, that, hey, it's one thing is that it just wants to be seen and felt. If you can give it that without falling deep into a hole, that is a really, really important piece. And let's wrap it up with one thing here, which is if we're going to go through this process, we have to understand that our body, our mind, our psyche basically has developed these defenses so strong to not feel. Especially if this is something deep that you're working with, it's going to be very, very hard to feel it and come in contact with it and sink into it. So understand that, something inside of you has locked emotion and feeling down. And it's gonna take a lot for you to unlock that. It's like you spent the last 10, 20, or 30 years building up this amazing, great wall. And do you think that that wall is just gonna go down just because you say so or just because you want it to? Like, no, that thing is gonna put up a fight. So one thing that is incredibly important as we go through this is if we think we're feeling something, we want to sink deeper into that feeling. Try not to just stop right there, right at the wall. Feel deeper, feel inside. If a story comes up, let it go. If an idea comes up, let it go. Feel deeper, go into it. And what's going to arise for that thing to fully move is you're gonna need to tap into what is actually stored there. How do I let this thing pulse through me? How do I, if it's this deep sadness, can I start to cry? And not only cry, can I let that thing go, right? So it's not just this little dainty thing of okay, I feel this thing and then now I come out and it didn't do anything for me. It's a really deep process. Go deeper, challenge yourself to go deeper because there's something inside that's not right and you know that. And this is it. And this is how we do it. We have to let this little child go pee. We have to let this thing that's inside of you finish. So that's it. That's the video. I do hope that this is helpful. This is stuff that's been really helpful for me and some people that I work with. And I want to mention that I have a free program with relaxation meditation. So this is a way to calm your nervous system, to bring yourself down on a deep level and just find true release and relaxation in your body. Check that out. And if you want to help me out, support this channel, please like it. Leave another comment like potato guy and I'll try my best to answer. I have a paid Substack where I definitely answer every question that comes in. So feel free to join that, ask some questions, and I'd love to see you in the future. Adios.